So Cleveland Brown owners admits he didn't want Shedeur Sanders. He just admitted it yesterday, or I think it was early today. Yeah, it was early today in front of reporters. And guess who he threw it on? He said it was Andrew Berry, the step and fetching who wanted Shedeur. We gonna break it down. I told you so. I told you so.
If you'd have told me, so you picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur.
I'll play the full clip, but I told you so. Don't get mad at me when I tell the truth, and all you people want to get mad at Bless One. Oh, Bless One, you think so negative. Why wouldn't I be negative of the lowly Cleveland Browns, especially when I'm an investigative journalist? Your favorite YouTuber, they all talk about the same BS. Me, I go a little bit deeper because this is bigger than football. It's deeper than football.
I've been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Think it's best I put my...
So we got to see the owners of the Cleveland Browns proving my point. There was nothing but ulterior motives between them. We know everything that's in line with this team and organization has been proven to be a failure. So let me play you guys Jimmy Haslam, the owner, who I've been telling you guys I'm skeptic of him. He's getting ready to sell the Cleveland Browns very soon here. You're going to see what I mean in 2 to 3 years. Him and his wife, Dee Haslam. You would understand how billionaires move. I've always been proven correctly when a franchise sells his team. Watch this, but pay attention to the games they're playing with Shedeur, because I told you, what was the motive of drafting Shedeur Sanders? What was the point of the Browns taking Shedeur when they had a chance in the first round? They actually had 2 chances in the first round, 33rd pick and the number 2 pick. Then they had a chance in the second round, which they chose, I think it was 2 tight ends in a row. Then the 3rd round, which was Dylan, the Mustang Gabriel. Then the 4th round, they just bypassed them all together. And the start of the 5th round, they didn't even think of Shedeur until it went well within deep in the 2nd round. You know what I mean?
If you'd have told me, so you picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call, but that's Andrew's call. He made the call. If you'd have told me.
I don't believe anything this organization will ever say to me. I didn't even start my commentary yet. I will keep showing you proof after proof. Who is this failed organization? The excuse can't even be made anymore because I told you, and Andrew Berry is a liar. I'm going to show you proof from his own words. I keep all the receipts. But listen, let's get into the real story behind Shedeur Sanders and landing in Cleveland, that is. A lot of fans thought it was the Cleveland Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, who signed off on drafting Deion Sanders' son. And I told you that's not the truth, because the truth is he didn't want him. It was general manager Andrew Berry who's being used as the decision to make the call. But we know if Berry really believed in Shedeur's talent and leadership, would have made the call to get Shedeur. But we're going to break all that down in the right way. But let me show you more further receipts on why I was always going to be correct about Jimmy Haslam and the Shedeur Sanders fiasco. I was always going to be correct.
And if you walk out of here and only remember one thing, remember the Haslam family is 100% committed to making the Cleveland Browns a winner again. We're going to do it in the right way, and we're going to build it in the right way, and we've got the core foundation. There were some good young players we need to add to it. Our fans deserve better, and what I want our fans to hear is nobody cares about winning and is going to work any harder to get us there than the people you're looking at right now, particularly the owner. I think the steps we have taken clarify how our organization is going to be set up and run, and as I've said several times today, set us up for success. The fact that this franchise is not performing any better, and certainly not like its great fans deserve, is my fault. We got the right guy for the Cleveland Browns. He is smart, he's tough, he's confident, he's competitive. He's been a head coach before. We haven't made good decisions along the way, so we'll accept the blame. Our record as owners is terrible, but we're not giving up. Has it been fun? No. Is it discouraging at times? Yes. But are we going to give up? No. We're more than ever determined to get this right. As owners, we take full responsibility for all those changes. I think at the same time, having been in Northeast Ohio and the city of Cleveland for these past 7 years, are more determined than ever to, for lack of a better terms, get this right. Browns we're going to
for lack of a better term, he was always a BS type of individual. For lack of better terms, I just gave you guys a rundown since 2012, all the excuses that Jimmy's been making. Since 2012, all the BS that they let Jimmy get away with. Since 2012, he has been an abysmal owner, one of the worst owners in any professional sports. Let's not just say the NFL. In any professional sport, Jimmy hasn't been up to par to run his organization. Jimmy employees have been complaining about stereotypes, have been complaining about an uncomfortable working environment. Now let's peel the curtains back even more, because we know the truth. Jimmy and his wife, Dee, they're trying to get out. There are quiet talks going on behind the scenes about them selling the team, and they've been itching towards the exit door for a while. So it makes sense why Jimmy didn't have real passion about building around Shedeur when you can use him to make the Cleveland Browns relevant in the market. That's the only reason they have anything with Shedeur. He's a lightning rod. He's a lightning rod and a magnet in the business corporate world. This is facts. And Jimmy knew drafting him would bring attention to the franchise that's been in the shadow for years. But here's the kicker. Jimmy never liked the idea of drafting Deion's son, the collusion, everything involved in it. There's tension there. He didn't want prime time spotlight in Cleveland, but Andrew Berry, that's the one they're pretending who's seen the upside in Shedeur, who's seen everything. But I got proof, y'all. Let's play the video. Andrew Berry never believed in Shedeur. Andrew Berry is the same duck who's been fired before from the Browns and rehired again. You think it was a smart idea to bring him back? Andrew Berry is the same one who drafted Malik Dowell, who assaulted police, then was found naked. The same guy who took Deshaun Watson after over 26 allegations, even though I don't believe the allegation, but you know that's detrimental to your team, especially a woolly Cleveland Browns. They didn't even have Shedeur on their draft board, and Andrew already admitted to that. Andrew threw it the other way around and said it was Jimmy who wanted Shedeur Sanders, and they didn't even think he was good at rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, they got Shedeur Sanders late in the 5th round pick. Never forget that. And I'm gonna show you Andrew Berry's video, but I had to let you know the facts. Andrew, out of his own mouth, and a lot of people, including the tweaker Mary Kay Cabot, already said it wasn't Andrew's call. They said it was Jimmy who forced the organization to draft Shedeur because the front staff, this is Jimmy's own words as well, it was obvious the front staff didn't want a Shedeur Sanders. So which it is? They're doing the hot pocket game. It was Jimmy who wanted Shedeur. It was Jimmy's wife Dee who wanted Shedeur. It was Kevin Stefanski who wanted Shedeur. It was Andrew Berry who wanted Shedeur. So who the hell wanted Shedeur? Because this is Andrew Berry lying tell right here. Don't trust these weird males or these step-and-fetching Negrums. Speaking of step-and-fetching Negrums, let's play one of their personnel step-and-fetching members right here.
You know, Shedeur, we talk oftentimes about quarterback being the most important position in the sport. We obviously spend a lot of time with Shedeur throughout the process. He's highly accurate, can play well from the pocket. Very productive college career, and we felt like it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to select 2 quarterbacks, but as we talk about, we do believe in best player available. We do believe in positional value, and We didn't necessarily expect him to be available in the 5th round, and so we love adding competition to every position room, and adding him to compete with the guys that are already in there. We felt like that was the appropriate thing to do.
All right, don't trust these weird males or these step-and-fetching Negroes. Speaking of step-and-fetching Negroes, I like hearing my voice. My receipts come from my own videos and my own receipts because that's how good I am. That's why. But you seen Andrew, right? We got more proof. Andrew, I'm glad you said it in the same breath that is, because if quarterbacks are important and it's a vital need and you don't bypass on good talent, why didn't you draft Shedeur in the first? The second pick that you traded to Jacksonville, why didn't you draft him in the 33 pick in the first round? Why didn't you draft him in the second, third, fourth? Why it took you late in the 5th to draft him? You can tell someone made the decision, oh, go get him right now after the Kenny pick. We're not going to get into that. Let's go a little bit fast forward. This is you and your owner. Yeah, I keep receipts. Shout out to Andrew Huge. I don't like Andrew Huge, but he brings out the pieces. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam gave Colorado Buffalo legend Shedeur Sanders a cornerstone meeting. Don't believe in that. They went to go visit Travis Hunter, and because Shedeur was right there, they figured we might as well talk to Shedeur. Let's keep going. Haslam, who had seated behind Stefanski, looking forward as the room response to selecting Sanders was captured live. You guys could read all that. I like receipts. Here's another receipt. Read that yourself. I got nothing but intel. Look, they went to see Shedeur. No, they went to see Travis and had intel on Travis. So that told them, like, let's at least talk to Shedeur. Never wanted Shedeur. Let's keep looking at more. Look who they really did their real due diligence to do homework on. Mother effing Dylan Gabriel. All we do is keep receipts here, and they gave credit to Dan Lanning, which I don't hate Dan Lanning. I think Dan Lanning is jealous of Deion Sanders, but it is what it is, and we're not done yet. All I showed you is proof. Look at who Jimmy Haslam really is, y'all.
Or not just the searches, but I think just the entire being around an NFL team and really around one, not showing up on Sundays like we did in Pittsburgh, but really being around one is just the importance of getting the right people in the right place, having very clear expectation and understanding of everybody's roles, and then making sure they work extremely well together. I think those are where I could have done.
I think you're full of crap, because if roles are important, what is the role of Shedeur when you have him with limited reps?
Why does that
you guys understand me? What is the role of Shedeur when they giving him nothing but limited reps? It's like they don't like Shedeur Sanders. They're ill preparing him and not getting him ready for the #1 dangerous sport in today's, besides hockey. It is the National Football League. It is the National Plantation League. Why wouldn't you give him more reps to get him accommodated? In fact, when you gave him these reps, you gave him time for it, he excelled. He excelled. So, ladies and gentlemen, miss me with the excuse of it's not collusion and it's everything. The owner himself just acknowledged and admitted that they didn't want Shedeur Sanders. This is factual. So the kicker is, Blessed One is always going to be correct. You know, you're going to call Shedeur this high caliber IQ quarterback with elite arm, but yet you negated to draft him higher in the draft. What was this reasoning? Let's be clear. Shedeur was a strategic move, and Andrew Berry took the shot because he was forced to. He never wanted him as well. And they needed to rebuild the Browns' image, but not really for the future, good enough to make it a place to sell, to make it a place to enrich in the pockets of Jimmy Haslam, who never cared about winning because he's already got one foot out the door. This is factual. That's why you'll never hear more soon about the Haslams moving away from Cleveland and into other ventures, including their focus on the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks. You guys rarely hear about his ownership with the Milwaukee Bucks, but here comes weird Cleveland fans who don't know any jack-ish going on to tell DJ Bless One that he's the one who's wrong. That's who you people are. So don't be surprised if this team looks different in ownership and in identity in the next 2-3 seasons. This is factual. And don't be fooled into thinking Shedeur is just a media grab. He's got the skills, the drive, and the spotlight. Now it's up to Cleveland to protect him on and off the field. Will that be seen? I don't believe in Cleveland. You guys can. It is what it is. But I'll leave you with this lowly owner, and you guys can have him. I'm DJ Bless One, the best one. You guys should be skeptic and nervous. What's the point of them drafting Shedeur? What was the reasoning? Something ain't adding up, and I'ma still stay on top of it. Y'all could celebrate. We been knew Shedeur was great, so there's nothing for me to celebrate. Oh, Shedeur did so good in practice. We know that. He's elite level. What was he supposed to do? Trash? Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Bless One, the best one. This is always deeper than football, bigger than football. Love your family, love your kids, and stay blessed.
Heart been broke so many times.